Sorry about the delay. It's not my fault, but okay. So let's start. I am this guy. I am Jorge Franco, and I am developer of Grooscript. Anyone doesn't know Grooscript? Don't know Grooscript? Okay. Groovy is a library for convert your Groovy code to JavaScript. So let's start presentation. So usually we are Groovy users. We develop in Groovy, but as you know, JavaScript is now trending topic, or the cool stuff is now JavaScript. And all the work in the client side is done in JavaScript. So you have to learn JavaScript. But with my library, you can convert your Groovy code to JavaScript. So if you don't want to learn Grooscript, at least you have to learn JavaScript. So for more info about the project is a library. You can convert Groovy code from 2.0 to JavaScript 5. Now it's starting to finish the draft of ECMA 6, but I think it's better be compatible with 5. It's an open source project, so you can download or clone and do whatever you want with the code. Also, you can contribute. So please go and contribute. You can say me whatever you want. You need something, or you want to fix, or whatever you want, please do it. So the library mainly get your Groovy code to JavaScript, and the JavaScript code generated, it doesn't run itself. So you need a library to run that code. That library is groovy.js. We will see now how it works. And apart from the library, I have created some tools. A Gradle plugin, a Greach plugin, and also node package and backware for add to your projects the libraries needed to run that code. So you have the links for get more info or whatever, the website, the documentation, the project in GitHub, some nice demos of some conversation to JavaScript. You can follow Twitter, and also you can try conversions here if you want to see how the code is in JavaScript. So it's very easy to convert code. You can just with this little code, you can convert the code. You can convert a string or any number of files or whatever. Let's see in action. That is the title of the presentation. Okay, here I have a Groovy file. It's a Groovy script. So there is a class, and we do some little stuff. It's just a little snitch of code. So it's very easy. It's just Groovy. So let's let's run it. So what expected? So for convert that code, here I have another file. So it just run the conversion. I say the file that I want to convert and the path where the destination JavaScript file is put. So let's run this code. As you see, we have just the convert and the hello files, and now we are going to run that convert, and the JavaScript will execute. So here we have the generated file. Let's take a look. So here you can see this is the class is a function and the code later. So maybe it's a bit strange, but here is some info needed about when we run this code, that Groovy needs to do things. Like Groovy is dynamic, so when I do a method call, some kind of things will happen. For example, we have a method missing. So if I do in JavaScript just hello.groovy, he will don't understand it. So Grooscript generates that kind of dynamic calls. So here is the code. If we try to run this, I use no. An error appears. That's because, as I said before, we need that Grooscript.js to run the code. So there are a lot of ways to do that, but we're going to change here, and we will add a new conversion option. This, for example, add something in the generated JavaScript. So we are going to add a call to Node.js to get the Groovescript dependencies. It just get the Groovescript.js. He put in the node file. We'll get the dependencies. Okay, let's see. So I convert again. You see, we have had the first line. It's just Node.js stuff, so get the dependency and the code will run. Let's run the code. And okay, we have the JavaScript code and the Groovy code, both do the same. So the conversion is okay. So as you have seen in the here, I haven't added nothing for working with Grooscript. It's just Groovy code. I don't extend any class like a JavaScript object or something like that. It's all just Groovy code that converted to JavaScript. You don't have to do nothing special to work with Grooscript. Just convert the things that you want to convert. Okay, we have seen one of these conversion options. There are a few of them. I don't want to go to detail of this thing. Just you have to have in your mind that the code in Groovy just has to be compiled. So if your Groovy code doesn't compile, the conversion can't be done. So this is very important, that your Groovy code has to work. I think it's very important. So please, if you see that the conversion fails, maybe your Groovy code can be wrong. So, what Grooscript can convert to JavaScript? So, mainly, the support of Grooscript is the Groovy code. As you know, Groovy has a lot of libraries, like JSON or some builders, but the support of Grooscript is just the core of Groovy. All the things in Groovy that we like all the list functions, the work with numbers, all that kind of things that you see there, categories, traits, operators, all that things that make Groovy Groovy is supported by Grooscript. We will see now what is not supported. As I said, any library that is not Groovy code, and it's very important that you know that some Java and Groovy types are not supported. For example, apart from Groovy, you can convert Java files, but the types that Grooscript support are the Groovy types. For example, for a list is an array list, or for a map is a hash map. So that is supported, but for example, threads or linked hash map or stack or any Java type that is not the basic for your application is not supported. So you have to have that in your mind if you want to use Grooscript. If you need any specific Java type in your code, first see if it's supported or not. Also, the support of inheritance is not full, so the key super is not supported. It's just supported only in constructors, but not in any method that you have and you call as supper will not work. So take in mind. And if you have two methods with the same name, that is not supported. Because as you have seen, the JavaScript code that I generate is simple, but I don't want to add a lot of complication for do that kind of overloading in Java. So I don't want to detect what type of the parameters. So I prefer to say, hey, you can have two methods with the same name. It's a restriction, but I think it's good for performance of the library. So you have to have in mind. Also, all the things that Groovy not supported are not supported by Grooscript, and some of that things. In Grooscript, we have some features. For example, these two. If you have a class with some methods, maybe you don't want to convert something. Here, for example, I don't want to convert this method, or also this class. This annotation will do nothing in your code. So you can use only when Grooscript converted class will use that. So you can insert in your code and your code will work perfectly just for the conversion. I haven't used this annotation too much, but I have used that annotation. TS native is an annotation that Grooscript, when he meets that annotation, he will put that JavaScript code. As you seen here, is just JavaScript code. So when the conversion is done, this code will be put in the method. For example, we have here, and apart from this annotation, I have Groovy code. So this code in Groovy will return 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. But in the conversion in JavaScript, this code will be in your destination JavaScript file. This annotation is useful when for example, you are using some JavaScript libraries and you want to add in this kind of code, you have to add with this annotation, because when you compile your Groovy code, if you put directly, for example, jQuery or something like that, the code will fail. So you can put this way, and your code will not fail, but in JavaScript you have whatever you want. So another feature of Groovy is that we can run a Phantom.js test. Phantom.js is a JavaScript library to do tests like in a browser. Phantom.js has its own browser, and you can run tests with it. But the good thing about this test is that you run that test in Groovy. So you only have to define where Phantom.js is, and you run your test. It's a fast test. If you want to do something fast, it's very good. But if you want to do more complex testing, please use get or something like that. It's just good for fast tests. So you can add to your Groovy test case or a spock test, but you can't annotate a spock test with this. You have to create a private method in your spock test with this and call from your spock method. Okay, as I said, this library is absolutely needed. Is this site? I think it's not very big, but you have to have in your mind if you want to add Groovy to your project. So, well, it's small, but I don't know. This is the main effect. And this is another file with some tools that I have created to help you in your development process. Let's see a few about them. In Groovy we have a lot of builders. There is an HTML builder, but I have created a new builder that you can use in your Groovy code. It works, but if you convert this code to JavaScript, also works in JavaScript. Just you have to add that Groovy tools JS file, and this code will run in JavaScript. Also, I have created a little wrapper around jQuery. It's called jQuery. So there are some functions, and I have created a little observable object. It's very little, just these two functions, but if you want to play with reactive things, well, you can do in Groovy, and if you translate to JavaScript, also works. Okay, so if you want to convert some files from Groovy to JavaScript, can be little boring, convert one by one. So I have created the Gradle plugin that do a lot of job for us. There are some links. And let's see the demo. The demo is in GitHub, you can get. And let's take a look. Okay, any questions so far? Are you asleep or? Okay, it's an Spring Book application. It's a web application that all the code that is in Groovy. I use WebSocket, I use Groovy templates, and I don't know something else. And all the code is in Groovy and run in the browser and in the server. So let's take a look at the application. Okay, it's just a list of books, typical demo application. So you can add new books. And when I do this add book, I send a message to the server, and the server sends to all the clients that a new book is. So if I open another here, when I add this book, so the book is here, some of the parts of the application are updated. All is done in the client side. When the client receives that message, draw again some part of the applications, but in the client side. And also other clients do the same. So let's take a look at the code. Okay, as I have said, all is in Groovy. This is the main page. It's just a Groovy template. I think Groovy templates, the new Groovy templates are from Groovy 2.3. Maybe 2.3 or 2.2. Oh, okay. So this template is only used in the server side, because when I get a slash, I render this template. But for example, this template is used in the client side. Okay, let's take a look to this. apart from what we have seen, there is more things like here you get the list of books. This list of books is in the client side. When the page loads, I send a message to the server, please give me the books, and now the books are in the client side. And you can do things like here, search by something, Groovy, and in the client side, when I am typing here, the component draw again to reference with the change. Also, if I click here, I sort by title. So all these features are in the client side, and the code for this is in Groovy. So let's see. So this is the template of the list of books. So you can see here is all Groovy code. So for example, here if I sort by title, I do some work with Groovy lists. And I go through the list and I do things. As you see, all is in Groovy. And run in the client side. So almost all the logic of the client-side application is in this class, is book presenter. So here we have the list of books and other things. So you see all is Groovy code. For example, when I get a new book from the server, I add a book to the list. I update the book numbers, I update the last book, and also draw again the graph. Here the down graph is updated. So you see all is, for example, if I want to draw a template, here there is the code is just apply a template. And how all this works with the Gradle plugin. So when I run this application, also some daemons are listening for changes in the Groovy code. So here is the app running, and for example, I'm going to change something in my Groovy code. For example, I'm going to change a plate in the book table, for example. I'm going to change title by title 2. When I save that file in the client, I reload the page, and now this is changing. Apart from listening on changes and detect changes and reconvert the files, there is another feature in the plugin that reload the page when something changes. So your development process is very fast and very interesting. So also I want to show here there is a class that I use in the client side that is the counter of books. So you see it's Groovy code. With this annotation, I create some things like I add a method that is set number, and when the number is set, this is rendered. So is a nice feature to create Groovy code that works in the client. So so here in the presenter, so just we do this counter.number. I send that I set that number in the component, and the component draws itself. So I don't know if you see the power of create code, and very easy to work with it in the client side. So when I add bugs, another. You have seen that this component draw again. Also, this component have some feature like using a crate. This is the trait that does that random color in the component. And you see it's a trait and it works perfectly. So any questions so far about this demo? I think you guys still in the party. Please come here. So let's see to the gradle things. Apart from dependencies, here I have the gradle stuff. So I am listening changes in the files in that folder and do the conversion to that other folder, and I am using this class path. As I said before, it's important that you understand that your Groovy code has to compile, so this is why I have to set the class path. Also, this is the thread, the daemon that is listening for changes in the book. I haven't said, but the book class is used in the client and in the server. The validation of that book are done in both sides. Here I am listening the templates. Apart from listening changes in files, there is a feature in the Gradle plugin that do that templates work. You say what templates do you want to translate and generate that JavaScript file with the way to use that template in JavaScript side. And also this feature to listening changes in your files, and when some file in that folder is changed, I send a message to the server that, and when the server gets that message, send the reload page to the client. I think it's very interesting and very fast to develop in the client side. Just do all things in Groovy. Okay, apart from the Gradle plugin, there is a Greach plugin. I have two versions, the version for grails 2.3 and more, and I have created the Grails 3 plugin. So you can work also in Grails 3. In Grails 3, as you know, is like an Spring Boot application, and all the build is done in Gradle. So in your Grails 3 application, you can use this plugin and also the Gradle plugin. The Grails plugin mainly is about some tags to put Groovy code that will be converted to JavaScript. I don't want to go into details about this because I don't have too much time, but I hope you take the idea. You can have in your Grails applications some conversion done in the background, and apart use some tags. Okay, we have seen that you can get the Grooscript dependencies from Node.js and also from Python. So why use Grooscript? Because there are a lot of things that works that conversion to JavaScript. Well, at least you have to learn JavaScript. So first, learn a bit or worry a bit about JavaScript. But why use Grooscript? Well, like this Groovy code, you can use the tools that you have for Groovy. You can use the IDEs, the Codenart, spock, whatever you now and you use all days in your code. Also, you don't have to repeat logic in both sides, in the client and in the server, because you just have to convert and use in JavaScript. You will have only one environment. You don't have to worry about creating tests for your JavaScript code, because it's just all Groovy code. You don't have to learn another JavaScript code like JavaScript or like CoffeeScript or Dart. Okay, it's just Groovy, the language that you know. So just use it. Also, can be interesting that you can static type your class in Groovy. It's okay, you can do it, and that code will convert to JavaScript. But why use Grooscript? Well, but that's mainly because it's Groovy. It's the language that we love. It's concise, readable, expressive. It's graphic. It's Groovy. As here are some examples of code. This is the component that I have shown before. Also, you can use all the Groovy list things, closures, all the good stuff. You can create very nice DSLs. This is a DSL that works with Node.js and Express.js. You create an application very fast and very easy with just a Groovy script. That is just a DSL. Also, if you like functional way, some things on the functional Groovy support is supported by Grooscript. You can use them. And okay, and what's next about Grooscript? Well, you know, Grooscript is now 1.0.1. So you can use, please introduce in your project, but it's still in development. So I am continuing add support for more Groovy things. For the next big release, I want to add support for required.js. So when you convert some files, just will generate required.js modules that you can add to required if you use that. Will be a new conversion option that you can add if you want to. And also the Grails 3 plugin. There is version now 1.0 M1, I want to fix some things to get a release, but actually that plugin exists and you can use. Okay, any questions so far? I think you are still in your bed. Sorry about the delay with the presentation. I hope at least you learned something today, and I hope you start use Grooscript because I think it's very interesting, and it's a good way to introduce to the client side because we are backend developers, but we have to worry about JavaScript. This is a good way to introduce to JavaScript. So thank you very much.